How did you lose the weight so fast? Liza was asking. Before Billy could toss out a lie, a dead sexy man approached the table and smiled intimately at Liza. And so, the season begins. Billy knew the accent. Definitely Texas. Obviously, he'd worked hard to get rid of it, but a slight twang remained. She'd performed enough concerts in Austin to recognize it. His impossibly white teeth were glinting, and she was swooning, literally, like an 11-year-old girl in the face of a Zac Efron sighting. She felt caught up in the tidal wave of his charisma, the way he filled out a simple pink Oxford and a pair of old jeans. It was sick. Liza beamed back a knowing smile that telegraphed a certain smugness to the current population at Savannah's. We have an inside joke, aren't we clever? She seemed almost lit from within. None of this was lost on the woman accompanying the object of immediate lust. She lingered just a few steps behind, icy and perpetually pissed off, like the always-ignored wife of a rock star. "Where's the husband I'm supposed to whip in beach volleyball?" he asked. "Back in the city waiting for a fire to start," Liza replied. Then she gestured to Billy and made the necessary introductions. "March and I scream at each other once a week on the round table." "You're Billy Shelton, the singer, right?" he asked, his face bright, his tone hopeful. There was almost a fanboy quality to his expression. Billy nodded. "I love your stuff. I just downloaded some of my favorite tracks onto my iPhone." Liza stared up at March in complete dismay. "You like Billy Shelton music?" "What's wrong with that?" He glanced at Billy, then back to Liza. Billy wanted an answer, too. Should it be such a fucking shock that someone appreciated her songs? Liza seemed to pick up on the instant resentment. "Don't get me wrong, Billy, I'm only surprised because March here is a young Republican. I thought Lee Greenwood might be more his speed." The smirk on her face was intended for him. "Now, why would you think that?" March wondered easily. "I don't assume that all feminists listen to Melissa Etheridge." "What's your favorite song of Billy's?" Liza asked. There was a challenge in her tone, as if she half expected him to be unable to name one. March winked at Billy. "Make me laugh and make me come, and I'll fucking marry you." He paused a beat. "That's a personal favorite." Suddenly he reached back to clasp the forgotten girl's hand. "Forgive my rudeness." Then he proceeded to introduce his fiancée, a cold bitch named Amaryllis Hartman. Billy hated her on principle, because she had the impervious countenance of a girl who came from real money, because her aloof patrician blonde beauty made for a legitimate comparison to Gwyneth Paltrow, and because March had asked her to marry him. It surprised Billy that she was crushing so hard and so quickly, and over a man like March. God, he wasn't her type at all. Usually she went for the guys who had a prison yard's worth of tattoos running down their arms and legs, or a son of a bitch like Todd Banna. He was young and successful in a cutthroat industry which required a certain amount of sleaze. Plus, he could advance her career. That made it love. And here stood March Donaldson, a conservative Texas male. Jesus Christ, this didn't make any sense. They were polar opposites. He was a political animal. She was almost 30 and had never registered to vote. But he was, without a doubt, the hottest guy Billy had ever met. A stunning specimen of man. She noticed Amaryllis discreetly pinch the palm of his hand with her perfectly manicured nails. "We need to run," March said. "It's Amaryllis's birthday." The luckiest whore in the room winced as he mentioned this, probably because it only delayed their escape. Billy merely stared back impassively. Liza started in with predictable and meaningless best wishes. "Her parents are hosting a party in the outdoor pavilion," March went on. "Come have a glass of champagne before you leave." Amaryllis managed a tight, insincere smile. "It's just family and a few close friends." Her implicit message came through loud and clear. In other words, not you two bitches. Liza watched them go. Billy clocked her reaction. "Are you fucking him?" Appalled, Liza drew back. "What? No." "But you want to," Billy accused. Liza put on her best you-must-be-crazy face. "March Donaldson? Billy, the man stands for everything that I fight against. We found a little corner of the earth where we can deal with each other. It may look a bit flirty, but it's completely harmless, so no, I don't want to." Billy drank deeply of her wine. "Well, I do. Liza's brow went up. Billy grinned. Isn't he a little traditional for you? March actually goes to church. One beat. And I'm pretty sure that he loves his mother. Okay, I have to admit, that's some scary shit. Liza laughed. But he probably only goes to pray for his soul. I bet he's a secret party animal. Not like you're used to, Liza said. He's a Texas fraternity boy. It's just beer kegs and yelling at the television during football games. Billy didn't buy that. A gut feeling told her that March Donaldson was a closet freak, and her instincts were rarely wrong about such things. Anyway, he's engaged, Liza said dismissively. But Amaryllis seems nice. A fiancé wouldn't stop a man like that. A wife wouldn't either. And even from that brief exchange, we both know that Amaryllis is a cunt. The waiter swooped in to take away their dinner plates and inquire about dessert. Billy announced her intention to finish the wine. Liza ordered coffee. Billy noticed that Liza seemed relieved when they moved past the subject of March. She didn't quite believe her friend's denial. How could Liza be content with a man like Justin? Okay, physically he was flawless, but Liza was such an intellectual creature. March's politics might take a hard turn to the right, but at least the man could think. When Justin wasn't pumping iron, he just sat around waiting for an alarm bell to ring. There was real electricity between Liza and March. Billy was almost drunk, but she could still read a situation. It didn't matter, though, not now. March was fair game. She'd given Liza every opportunity to stake a claim of interest, even on a look-but-don't-touch fantasy level. So Billy would just have to take the woman at her word. They lingered at the table, nibbling on the peanut brittle teasers, talking about their first weekend in the summer share. They intended to spend most of the daylight hours working on their tans. With a 2-week head start, they just might be able to stand next to Kellyanne without looking like a couple of ghosts. Beyond that, the evenings were all planned out. Reservations at Nick and Tony's for Saturday night. 6 cocktail parties on Sunday. Film director Harrison Beck's big Memorial Day bash in Sagaponack on Monday. Too bad they had to be escorted there by KK, the fat queen. Billy had seen him on television leading a panel to dish red carpet fashion after an awards show. Cartoon fags were so annoying. When the check arrived, Billy made no move to contribute. It wasn't her idea to come here. Liza didn't blanch, though. With tip, the bill had to be almost $800. But she just threw down her American Express black. Must be nice. Amy lectured Billy regularly on cutting down her spending. Meanwhile, Liza was making money in her sleep. And for what? Raising hell about some stupid slasher movie? Some people had all the luck. As they made their way out of Savannah's, Billy announced, I'm going to the ladies' room. Meet you outside, okay? Liza seemed to think nothing of it and ventured on. Billy fell back, waiting for her to exit, then made a beeline for the pavilion. There was a tent-like structure, more Grecian columns, a beautiful garden, but with balloons everywhere and a table chock-a-block full of gifts, it looked as if Amaryllis was celebrating her sweet 16. Suddenly, March appeared and offered a flute of champagne. Where's Liza? Billy drank up and passed the empty glass back to him. Waiting for me outside. He took a step closer. That's not very sociable. I can't stay either. I just wanted to give you my number. She slipped a scrap of paper into his front pocket. He smiled. Is that the kind of information that could get me into trouble? Billy licked her lips. In her white jeans and black lace camisole top, she knew that she looked hot. Use it. Find out for yourself. March opened his mouth to speak, but Billy was already gone. From across the room, Amaryllis stood watching. Billy matched her glare for glare. Then she silently mouthed the words, Happy birthday, bitch, and walked out.